Thank you for tuning in. We are here for a webinar focused on maximizing your DMC and marketing credits to drive new opportunities this year. So very excited to be here today. As Kendall had mentioned, we will have a recording of this webinar for you post session. So feel free to take screenshots if you want, but no worries. We will have this recording available to you. We do also encourage you, if you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the Q&A section at the bottom of your screen here. We would love to hear from you, and we will be taking those questions at the end of this call. If for whatever reason we cannot get to your question, no worries. We will be sure to follow up with you post-webinar as well. So with that, we will dive into just some quick introductions. So we have two hosts today. My name is Jessica Weiss. I am our Director of Strategic Partnerships and Programs here at One Firefly. I get the pleasure of working very closely with Team Lutron to build and craft this wonderful program that we're going to speak with you about today, alongside my wonderful colleague here, Kendall Clark. Kendall, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Kendall. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing here at One Firefly. So excited to spend an hour with you all. I know you guys are busy, and to spend an hour with us, we really appreciate it. So I'm joined by Rebecca, who's going to be kind of behind the scenes running our Q&A. She's going to help us with our polls and things like that. So feel free to shoot some Q&A into that question box below, and we'll get it answered at the end, and we'll leave some time for that. So next up, Kyle.
Hi, everyone. For those who I haven't met yet, I am Kyle Yamamoto. I'm on the luxury residential marketing team at Lutron. I am in charge of dealer growth and engagement. So I've had the opportunity to meet many of you and will continue to do so. So it's great that you can join us. And Laura Jean Null is also on the call from our team. Some of you may have interacted with her. She is our go-to gal for things like image requests and other assets that the team and our dealers always need. So we're really all excited to be here with you today. Thanks so much for joining and taking the time out of your day.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Kendall. Thank you, LJ and Rebecca. So with that, let's dive in. Let's first start with telling you a little bit about One Firefly. So we are a full-service digital marketing agency that's been serving technology professionals just like yourself since 2007. And we exist to design, execute marketing strategies that are going to help you grow. And among many things that are unique about One Firefly is we specifically cater to our industry, specifically helping CI integrators, very much like yourself, as well as dealers on the pro AV side of the business, again, with the goal to help them grow, which means we have about 75 content creators and marketing experts here on staff that wake up every single day designing strategies and executing strategies that help you reach your end user customers in a meaningful and impactful way. We've been in the business, as you see there, for a long time, and currently today we're managing marketing for about 650 unique businesses in our industry. So we're very proud of that. We're very respected in the industry, and we're very rooted in excellence and have a strong foundation in knowledge of how your businesses work, as well as how to effectively reach your end user customers. Here's just a quick slide. As you can see, actually previous slide was a lot of awards that we've won over the years. And then I also like to just touch on a little bit here, our history and partnership with Lutron. So all going back to the early 2000s when Ron Callis, our fearless leader and CEO, began his career at Lutron. He is a former Lutronite, and he was there for many years. Which again just goes to show that we are very founded and rooted in this industry. We know how your businesses work. And of course, we know a lot about Lutron as well. Again, Ron started his career in this industry at Lutron. And then in 2007, Ron actually founded One Firefly to help Lutron dealers with their marketing and other dealers in our industry. By 2014, we were on our way to continuing to help those dealers, help you all with your marketing. We had at that point dedicated web content that we had created and built and executed and deployed across many Lutron dealer websites across the industry. Fast forward to 2021, we did a beautiful photo shoot at the Lutron Ketra showroom. Many of you might have seen this incredible video footage. If you haven't, I encourage you to check it out. But again, just honing in on making sure that we're constantly creating new content for our Lutron dealers to help them with their marketing. By 2022, we officially announced a partnership with Lutron. At that point, we were endorsed by Lutron as an option and great way to spend your DMC, or at that point it was called MDF. And then fast forward again to 2024, this year, another exciting announcement. Both Lutron and One Firefly paired up, took our partnership even further, where we announced our One Firefly credits that are now part of your 2024 program. And we made a big investment in this, $1.4 million, to help Lutron dealers grow with these credits. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to leverage and use those credits. But again, just wanted to showcase that we've been working with Lutron and been tied to Lutron for many, many years. So with that, let's talk a little bit about our agenda of the day. We got through our intros. We're going to dive into why marketing, and specifically what has changed. There's a lot that has changed very recently in the past year, even months even. So we're going to bring you up to speed on some of those changes. We'll talk a little bit about some of the marketing strategies and the ways we help you implement those marketing strategies. And then towards the end of the presentation, we'll talk about how to leverage and use your DMC funds as well as your One Firefly credits. And then we'll wrap today with Q&A. Again, I encourage you, if you have questions, please go ahead and drop them in the questions section. We would love to address them at the end.
All right, I think we're going to kick off with a quick poll here. So let me go ahead and launch that. All right, so we want to know what percentage of your business comes from referrals. So I'm starting to see a couple answers come in. We've got well over 100 people here, so let's see what kind of participation we can get. %65%. There's 80 people. All right, everybody's had their coffee this morning.
All right.
We'll give it a couple more minutes, or a couple more seconds, not a couple more minutes. All right, and let's go ahead and end it. All right, so what we're seeing here is, wow, it's a landslide. Most, I would say 83% of you say you're at least getting 50% of your new business from referrals. 42% of you have said more than 75% of your business comes from referrals. Wow. All right, JW, tell us what that means.
Yeah, so that's great. And we hear that quite often. A lot of businesses will tell us, well, I get a lot of my customers from referrals. I don't need marketing. And then I say, well, what you think might happen is someone is referred to your business. You might think, hey, they immediately pick up the phone and immediately call your business. Take my money. I'm ready to spend it. When in reality, if we flip to the next slide, we have to ask ourselves, is that what really happens? And that's where I like to just kind of touch on what we would call the customer journey or the buyer journey. And there's typically different phases that a customer will go through. And believe it or not, a lot of times they're not immediately picking up the phone and calling you. They're doing their research on you and your business first to establish credibility. Is this a quality business that I want to work with? So the first step of that we typically reference as the awareness phase. The prospect discovers your business. They have a need or want or solution that they want in their home, and then they become aware of your company. And that's likely, again, because someone might have referred them to your business, but then they're going to go hit the internet and do some research on you first. Then once we get through that awareness phase, that customer, again, that consideration is going to be when they're doing that research on you. And we'll talk about the wide variety of ways here in a moment of the ways they can learn about your business. But once they do their research, they're feeling good about you. They pick up the phone or they reach out to you to learn more, to get started. And then that customer becomes your client, which is exactly what we all want. We want that prospect who didn't know much about you to turn into a client. Then the next phase is we want to keep that client, right? We want to keep that client happy, and we want to keep them coming back when they have additional needs or in the future, whatever they may be. And one of the most important steps of all of this, and very much what you were all just sharing with us, is we want advocacy. This is the part where the referring comes in, where the referrals come in. And again, as Kendall mentioned, majority of folks on this call are getting your business from referrals. That's when those prospects that became clients are so happy with your business that they are now telling others about you. And so the cycle continues on. So it is important just to know it, because marketing does play a very big part in making sure that you're keeping clients top of mind, and that those clients that you're keeping top of mind are also referring you to others. And then as others do your research, they can find you. But how can they find you, right? This is just here on the screen, just a few of the many, many ways that a potential prospect could potentially learn about you, right? They could go to this thing called the internet. They could do a Google search and land on your website and peruse your website and read any blogs or watch any videos about your business. They could also potentially see an ad on Google. If they're heading to Google, they might see an ad about you to learn more. They might read reviews about your business. They might head to social media, right? There are a variety of different ways that a customer can learn about you. And the goal of marketing is that no matter where they go, how do you want your business to be represented? You want it to be represented as the quality, credible business that you are. And that's where marketing comes in, to make sure that you are found when customers start searching for you. And not only are you found, that you look like the high quality business that you are, that you present yourself in a way that you're proud of. So that's going to bring us to our next slide here. I had alluded to the fact earlier that there is a lot changing, especially as it relates to marketing. Kendall's going to take us through here in a minute on how AI is playing into a lot of this today. And really, the question is, as these changes are happening, is your business prepared? Is your business ready for when that prospect hits the internet and starts conducting that research, that they're not only going to find you, but they're going to find something and see something that they like? So with that, let's move on here to our next slide. Kendall, tell us a little bit about what are some of the biggest changes that we're seeing with marketing, and as it's tied related to AI.
Sure. Thanks, JW. I know it's, if I could see all of you in a room in front of me, I'd ask you all to raise your hands on how many have heard about this little thing called ChatGPT. Probably many of you. Oh, I actually do see a couple people can raise their hand through the webinar. Many of you may have tinkered with it, maybe asked you to write an email. It does write a great email for you. Some of it might be, people might be incorporating it into their business. But the advent of AI and the release of large language models like ChatGPT have forever changed our digital landscape and are going to be severely impacting how your website and your digital presence is going to show up online. And we just want you to be aware of that. What I want to show here, this is actually a graph that's showing the sprint to 100 million users. So what you're seeing here are various applications that have been released over the years and how long it takes that application to go from 0 to 100 million users. And there's a lot of iconic platforms here: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You're seeing many of these are taking years to get to 100 million users. ChatGPT took 2 months to get to 100 million users. It's absolutely insane. So as I mentioned, our digital landscape has changed, and it's not just ChatGPT. You can see here there are a couple of different of the many AI tools: Copy AI, Dolly. There's actually going to be some imagery in this presentation generated from AI platforms. And in the year 2023, there were actually 10,000 AI tools released last year alone. Just to put it into perspective, that's insane. What you're looking at, this is a Google Trends report, and this is a tool that we actually use when we're doing different key phrase research, but we put in the term AI tool. And what you're seeing, if you can read it, that date where you start to see that spike, this is the popularity of the number of people who are going to Google and searching the term AI tool. That starts to spike in January, and it continues to grow up, or to grow. I really should honestly take another screenshot to see where we are this year now that we're through Q1, but the trend, it's continuing to rise. So what happens with all these large language models, and how is all of this content created? Many of you that have played with ChatGPT know that you can go in and ask it to do many things and generate a lot of content for you. So the internet is being inundated with new content at an extremely rapid pace. But, and I'll give you something to kind of think about, what ChatGPT is referencing is all of the existing content on the internet. So I really want you to think about that for a minute. ChatGPT can generate all of this content over and over, but it's based on all the content that's already there. So all of the new content is based on old content, and we're just filling the internet at a breakneck pace with all of this new content. But is all of this content necessarily better? Google is in the business of serving up search results, right? You go to Google when you're looking for anything, and it is starting it's an overdrive, trying to process all of this content being flooded into the internet. Google wants to make sure that when it's presenting you content, when you're going to use that tool, that it's presenting you with content that's valuable, that is new. But how does Google decipher what's new content, what's recycled content, what's good content, what's bad content? It is processing all of this massive amounts of information on the internet at this crazy pace and trying to decide and differentiate between all of these different pieces, what's useful and not useful, and what's going to be best for your users. And because of all of this engine that's moving and trying to process all of this content, as a result, we are seeing a significant number of algorithm updates. So what this graph is showing you here, this is all of 2023. You can see the increased number of algorithm updates, September, October, November, December. So to put it in perspective, when somebody is typing something into Google, Google is using their algorithm to rate all of the content that's on the internet through a series of different factors to decide which piece of content is the best match for that query. So here it is. These are all of the adjustments that it's making to try and differentiate all of that content online. Even as recent as a couple weeks ago, Google released its March 2024 core algorithm update. And I'll talk you through a couple of the things that you need to know from that update. It's de-indexing websites. There's penalties against poor content. Websites that have previously survived any kind of algorithm updates are not necessarily immune. If your website is error-filled, it's vulnerable. So really what all this is saying is even if you've done nothing new with your marketing, your visibility to the internet and your visibility to your end users could be diminishing because of all of this AI-generated content. This is not necessarily saying that AI content is bad, but it's saying poor quality, non-valuable content to the internet is bad. So what is valuable? I know that's the question in all of your minds. And Google did release something about that. So Google wants to see your business demonstrate something called EAT. And this acronym stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So Google wants to see that your website, your business is a real business by real people that are trusted and that are, industry leaders in what they do. So there's a lot of different ways that you can build this EAT acronym across your business. If you're putting out case studies, if you have a great number of reviews on your website, maybe you're listing your awards, your certifications, Google has to do a broader job at really looking at the entire picture of you and your business and the snapshot of what your business looks like to Google in order to kind of demonstrate that that business is worthy of being ranked. So how do you do that? How do you stand out and build that EAT? I did want to say here, just a note to put this graph in there. We have customers tell us all the time, does Google really matter? There are other search engines out there. People do search on Facebook, or hey, maybe somebody looks me up on LinkedIn. As recently as January 2024, 63% of all of the traffic coming to your website is going to be from Google. It is still our largest traffic referrer. All right, so I did want to leave us with one more diagram here, and that is, we talk about all of these changes within AI, and what does that mean? So what you're looking at here on the left is a before picture. So if you were to go back in time a year ago and type in a Google search, this is how a typical layout of a Google search engine result is going to show up. So what you're going to see at the top is red. That's going to be your paid. That's not going to be changing. Google makes its money off of paid search results, people that are doing paid advertising. You're going to see here there's not much change in that in 2024. Your green, that's going to be your organic traffic. So that is where your website is ranking. So you have content on your website and it's showing up the actual link to your website. What is changing is what we're calling this yellow area. And that yellow area is classified as zero-click search results. So what are zero-click search results? I'll give you a good example. Last night, I made banana bread with my daughter, and I wanted to type in how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon. So I went to Google and I typed in, hey, how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon? And Google spit out, there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. You don't have to click into a website to get that information. That is called a zero-click search result. So Google is going to be adding more of these, what they're calling zero-click search results, because it's good for their users. It's the best way, quickest way to present information. Now, zero-click search results can show up in a lot of different ways. That example I just gave you is one way, but also in that yellow is your Google business profile. You want to make sure that your Google business profile is built out, has your company name, has your pictures of your company, your reviews, it looks nice and pristine. Jessica, going back to your example of referrals, when somebody learns your business name, they're going to type that business name into Google. We want to make sure, and maybe you can all do this right now, open up Google, type in your business name, and you need to make sure that your Google business profile is showing up and all of the information on that business profile is representative of you. You're proud of it, and that information is accurate because that is all part of the yellow. So you'll see now when you go to the before and now, there's going to be less of that organic spot and more of those zero-click search results. And now what happens with that green, with that organic? Let's think about the housing market right now. So before, you could build out your website with a significant amount of robust content to try and be found organically for lots of different phrases, lots of things that people are typing in. Your website could show up page 1. We've got less of that green now, so that green real estate becomes more valuable. So we really have to be very, very focused on not only showing up in the green, but we want to make sure you and your business is showing up in all of these different areas, whether you find search or paid advertising valuable, whether you want to be found for zero-click search results, and in that organic spot, we want to make sure that you have a marketing presence that's going to have you showing up in all of these different areas. So how do you show up in all of these different red, green, and yellow areas? There's a lot of different ways. And what we want to do in this presentation is just kind of give you an idea that there are a lot of different solutions that can help present your business in that way. And it's tailored towards you and your business's goals. So obviously, if you want to get paid, there's in the paid area, there's certainly a way to do that. If you want to make sure that you're showing up in the green, blogging, SEO services can do that. If you want to make sure those zero-click search results are showing up, we want to make sure that your Google business profile is optimized, that you have a review management kind of platform, that you're making sure you're actively going out and asking for those reviews, that your directories where you're listed online are up to date. There are all of these different factors to be found in all of these different areas. But our message to you is just to understand these are the changes that are happening on in our internet right now. You need to be aware of them and you want to take action, because we have many customers coming to us right now that are doing what they've been doing and starting to see a drop in the number of customers that are visiting their website month to month. So Jessica, I'll pass it over to you. What's next? Where do you start? How do you pick between all of these different things and where you want to show up?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. It's a question that we get often, Kendall, quite often actually. And the great news is, despite all of these changes and the digital landscape changing and AI, the introduction of AI, the great news is that you're not in this alone, and that we have, again, an entire team of experts right in here in-house to guide you through how to tackle these changes and how to help your business, really help your business grow. So what we're going to take a couple minutes here is walk through what we call the One Firefly process. And the very first and most important step is what we call discovery. And this is actually going to be very similar to what you are doing today with your clients. The goal of this step is to get to know you, to get to know your business. We want to learn all about you. We want to learn, where do you want to grow? How do you want to grow? What percentage of business mix are you looking for? We want to understand where your pain points are. And we want to understand if you're doing marketing today or if you're not doing marketing today. What's working, what's not. So we take you through this discovery process because what we like to pride ourselves in being is consultants. And in order to be a good consultant to you and to your business, we first need to understand your business. And that's really where this first step comes in. Then the next step we call evaluation, right? We know about your business. We understand where there are pain points or where you want to grow. And then we're going to come back to you with different ways and strategies that we think we can help you based on what those needs are. And the one thing I want to note here is, especially during this evaluation phase, it's not a one size fits all. Your business is very unique to you, and that is how we're going to propose strategies. They are going to be unique to you and to your business. So once we've defined what it is that what we want to prescribe, right? Kind of like a doctor, right? You listen to the patient, you understand what they need, and then you prescribe something. Then we're going to take you into what's called our onboarding process, and that's going to help us get you prepared and collect everything that we need from you to really effectively execute on your marketing strategies and tactics. And typically, there's two ways or two avenues that we go. One, and which we would have identified during that discovery phase, is, do we need to build on your foundation, right? Are we starting with things like logos and making sure that your logos look good, your website looks good? These are foundational elements of your marketing strategy, because as we continue into the future, if we do digital marketing, we want to make sure that we're driving traffic to a beautiful website. We want to make sure that your foundational logos and your foundational brand is something that you're proud of. So we are going to help you build upon that foundation if that's needed. Or we are also going to look at what we call ongoing digital marketing strategies. These are going to be using tactics to help your business get found on the internet, right? So these are going to be social media tactics and Google ad tactics or other paid advertising tactics. We're going to incorporate email marketing and blogging and review management and some of those other things that Kendall was alluding to earlier today. And again, the great news is we have a team of in-house experts here. They're going to help craft those strategies so we can take all of that heavy lifting off of you, and we take that on and help you build the right strategies based on your goals again. So then once we have all of that in place, we have a solid foundation, we have a solid digital marketing strategy in place, then we're going to launch. We're going to get everything rocking and rolling. We're going to get your marketing campaigns and strategies out there into the marketplace. And then from there, we're going to continuously and regularly measure and evaluate how are those campaigns and strategies performing? And then we're going to review that performance with you on an ongoing basis. And then as we're reviewing that info and as we're measuring and evaluating, we're also going to optimize and change our strategy or adjust it if needed to maximize results. And that's just going to be a continuous loop of launch the plan, evaluate the plan, review it with you, optimize as needed, and continue on. And again, we have a whole team of experts here that know how to do this every day. And the beautiful part again is because we're so rooted in this industry, we not only understand your business and how your business works, but we also understand that end user customer, your clients, and what's going to be most impactful on how to reach them. So the icing on the cake, as I like to say, is this incredible group here. We call them our account managers. And these are folks who are going to essentially be an extension of your team. These are the people here at One Firefly who are the liaisons between your business and the team of 75 plus experts that we have in-house here, so that you as the business, you just have one point of contact, but they're working on your behalf behind the scenes with our social experts and our advertising experts and our content creators to make sure that we're executing on the strategies that are going to be most impactful for your business. And Kendall, tell us a little bit about how these folks also get to know your business.
Yeah, something I really love about our account managers is just their dedication, our account manager to customer ratio. We keep that low. We want this team member to know your business inside and out. I think you mentioned being an extension of your business. They want to get to know, we're having this initial discovery conversation. We want to know, when we start that conversation, what are your growth goals over the next 12 months? Where do you want to be in the next year? And we're going to plan out a map of exactly how to get you to that goal. However, we know life happens. We might get 6 months through the year and you guys might, pivot strategies or want to focus on another side of the business or seeing one side that's more profitable and you want to lean into that. Our account managers are to be there with you side by side and say, hey, if there's something changing in your business, we need to pivot our strategy to match your new goals. So you are in regular conversations with this group to make sure, and you'll have that one account manager to make sure that you guys are staying in communication and that our solutions are fitting where you're going and that we're seeing optimal success, because that's all that we want to do is help you guys grow your business. When you win, we win. All right. So I do want to circle back. We're going to talk a little bit about the credit and DMC program. Again, we are so fortunate to have a partner in Lutron that believes in the power of marketing and the impact that investing in marketing can have in growing your Lutron business. So I'll give you another overview. You'll see here the different dealer levels. If you are of any of these Lutron dealer level statuses, you'll get One Firefly credits applied to any new services that you want to do with One Firefly. Some of these upwards of $3,000 is fantastic. And when you pair that with some of your DMC, there's a significant amount of money that you can put towards marketing spend. One thing when I'm having conversations with customers is people will ask me, what should I spend? What does all of this cost? What do I spend? And what we like to tell people is that if your business is in growth mode, we recommend that you are investing somewhere between 2 and 5% of your projected revenue into marketing. Now, I know that might seem like a lot, but marketing can encompass a lot of different things. You obviously need to make sure your staff and your technicians all have shirts and polos. Like, that's marketing. Your vehicles are wrapped. You send people to CEDIA and events. That's all part of your marketing budget. But the great thing about it is for these dedicated digital marketing campaigns, your One Firefly credits plus your DMC can help supplement your marketing budget. And you'll put towards that and grow your business even more, which is awesome. So what we wanted to do now, what can you do with all this great money? We'll give you some examples. So like Jessica said, we like to classify the types of projects that we do with our customers into 2 different buckets. There's project-based work, that's that foundational kind of branding-based work, and then more of ongoing marketing services. So just to kind of get some of the ideas flowing in your head, let's say one of your goals this year was to build more and forge more relationships with interior designers or architects. Have you thought about maybe putting together a nice portfolio, 6 to 8 pages, that you can bring to specifiers or maybe homeowners that you're in the process of doing business with? Maybe you want to put together a nice presentation folder with a co-branded Lutron plus your business brochure with a nice custom letter inside of it. Maybe you just finished a really awesome project. I would love for one of you all to do this and get a video shoot featuring one of your new, let's say it's a new ketchup project, bringing in a video crew to capture all of this beautiful content that then you can push onto social media. You can put on your website. You can show prospects that video. There's endless things that you can do, and that certainly makes you stand out in your local market. If you're thinking about ongoing marketing campaigns, let's do a 6-month ad campaign. Maybe you want to focus on the shading side of your business and driving more shading leads. An ad campaign, that paid red section of the red, yellow, green, is a great way to do that. Maybe you want to look at LinkedIn. We can target very particular demographics over LinkedIn. Somebody with a particular title in their name, maybe people that have different interests or different, levels. We can do that within LinkedIn and put targeted ads in front of them. SEO, we obviously just talked about the impact that AI is having on your digital visibility. Maybe you want to put an SEO strategy together so that when someone is typing in a question about Lutron or lighting and shading solutions, your website is popping up #1 in your local market. And not just your website, your Google business profile, or maybe the 3-pack on the map, so people know to click you and your business when they're doing their researching and looking at different prospects. Finally, if you have a great email list, if you're looking, you have a past customer list and you are not sending ongoing communication to your email list, you are sitting on a gold mine. How often, Jessica, do we hear where people say, oh, I have a list, but I don't want to hit up those customers too often? Or
all of the time, Kendall, all of the time. And I like to say it is literally your lowest hanging fruit. I mean, not only because are these folks most likely to buy from you again, but these are the folks who already likely know, like, and trust you, which means they're going to refer you to others. So it's just a great opportunity, and you're literally leaving money on the table if you're not really leveraging your email list.
Yeah, and the approach that One Firefly takes to, emailing your existing customer base is to not be salesy at all. So what we want to do is we like to partner emails with a blog. So we want to generate a nice thought leadership piece of content on your website, which is great for your SEO, and then use that piece of content in an email newsletter that we're then sending out to your customers. So really what they're getting is value add. You're getting your brand and the Lutron brand back in front of them, which is a great way for them to go, oh, I've been meaning to do that, or, oh, I need to give these guys a call again. But then you're providing them value of things they can go, read, digest, and it continues to build the credibility of your business in their eyes. It is a gold mine. Once again, we'll bring you back to this graphic. These are all of the different ways that people may be seeing you and your business online. And we just want to make sure that all of these different tactics are pointing people back to you, your business, and your website. So Jessica, I'll hand it back over to you now.
All right. So thanks, Kendall, for that great overview there. So let's talk about how to redeem your money, right? So you have 2 buckets of funds. One is this One Firefly credits, and then the second is your DMC. So here first, we're going to dive into the One Firefly credit process. And again, the first step in all this is we want to meet with you. If you're interested in redeeming your credits, we just ask that you reach out to us. We'll give you a way here to do that upon conclusion of this webinar. but let us know that you're interested. And then we're going to get you in touch with a team member here at One Firefly who's going to take you through that discovery process. Again, we're going to sit down and be consultants with you, understand your business, and have that marketing expertise to help map out how to best leverage and spend those One Firefly credits based on your business's needs. So once we map that out, we are then going to verify, during that discovery process, we are also going to ask you what your current Lutron dealer level is. Step 2 is that we are also going to verify that level with Lutron. And then the rest is easy. We don't need any additional information from you in order to apply these credits. What's going to happen is we're going to come back to you with a proposal, and then we're going to basically apply those credits automatically to your bill. So it's easy, it's seamless. And again, this is just a great way to take advantage of these funds to help boost your marketing in ways that is going to benefit your business best. So the next part of that is going to be DMC. Now, DMC does work a little bit differently, and I'm going to pass it over to Kyle at Lutron to walk us through that process.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. So we have also tried to keep the DMC process as simple as possible for you, and it hasn't changed with this credit program with One Firefly. So first, you'll complete your work with One Firefly, and then you'll submit your paid receipt or your invoice, which I'll show you how to do on the next slide, to Lutron. And then we'll apply the credit to a future Lutron job. So that process from a DMC standpoint has not changed. Try to keep it as simple as possible for you. And then where you would redeem is you would actually go to My Business, and you can see the screen grabs on screen here. There's a little tab at the top that says DMC. Once that opens up, you'll be able to view the credits that you have available from prior submissions. And you'd also be able to add the documentation and redeem credits for whatever you're submitting with that documentation. There's a couple of questions. You'll attach whatever file you have to support it. And then that comes into us. Our team reviews it typically pretty quickly, just a couple of business days, if that, and that will show up in your account. So if there's any questions on that, you can reach out to your Lutron sales rep too. They're happy to walk you through it. But yeah, we try to keep it as simple as possible. And this, along with the credits that One Firefly is offering based on all of these awesome services that you've heard about today, it's just a great way to really maximize that opportunity that you have to drive your marketing strategies forward. So try to keep it as easy as possible.
Love it. All right, if you are ready to go, I'll end us on this last slide here. What you're looking at is a QR code that's going to bring you to a dedicated page where if you do want to talk to one of these wonderful faces on our team, we have Josh, he's our account executive on the East Coast. Steven, he handles the middle of the country, and then Kat's over on the West Coast. You'll scan that QR code. It'll bring you to that form. You can fill it out, and it'll even ask you for your dealer status. If you know that, put that in there. If not, we can help look that up for you, and we will schedule a call for one of these 3 lovely humans to chat with you, get to know you and your business, and see what solutions we can offer to help you and your business grow. So I'll leave this up here for now. And then Rebecca, are you there? And do we have some questions that are worth answering in these last 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah,
And go ahead and drop
absolutely.
your questions in, folks. By the way, please go ahead and drop them in now. We'd love to answer them.
Yeah, we've had some good questions come in, so I'll start with those, and then as Jessica said, please keep dropping them here. And we still have a couple minutes, so get them in. So first up, we do have a question from Joanne on our webinar, who's asking if we as the One Firefly team have any experts here on the Canadian and Quebec markets.
Yep, yes, we do. Actually, Canada is split between Josh and Kat, so we service Canada all the time. So we certainly do. Anything you want to add, JW?
No, I think you hit it. Yes, we do have experts, and we are familiar with those markets as well.
Great.
Good question.
I know we've had another question come in. Someone who is an existing One Firefly client and is asking, can they apply these Lutron funds to their bill?
Yes, so that is another great question. If you are an existing One Firefly customer, we cannot apply this to any existing ongoing marketing with us. But what I would recommend is that it's an awesome way to either add, maybe you want to grow if you're a website customer, you could grow your site and add it to new pages or new project-based work. Or if you wanted to up any of your existing campaigns, we would apply the difference to any new services that you might want to be adding in.
All right. Let me go ahead and give a quick answer to a question that I'm seeing a couple times asking about whether this recording and slide deck will be available. They will. Everybody who is here, everybody who's registered and attended will receive a copy of this slide deck and the video recording. If for some reason you do not receive it tomorrow, that's when we'll be sending this out. Please, you can reach out to us directly and we will send it right to you.
Perfect.
So another great question that we have come in here is, what is an expected budget per month that would be required to make this cost effective?
Yeah, so I'll go back to the slide where I'm talking a little bit about budgets. Everybody's business is different. Everybody's business's goals are different. And we want to be mindful of that. It's why we don't talk about, we're not going to sit here and say, oh, you need this, you need that. We need to get to know you, and we need to get to know your business and your growth goals. I mentioned before, if you do want to start thinking about a marketing budget, what we recommend for our industry is investing that 2 to 5% of your projected revenue into marketing. But in reality, we just want to make sure that we're doing something, or that we're recommending things that you can maintain for an entire year. It is not worth it to dump a bunch of money for a couple months, because an integrated marketing campaign takes time and you want to be hitting on it across the year. So we would work with you on something like that. If you want to chat with us, we'll get you connected with one of our account executives who can kind of talk you through and work through all of that. We have things definitely on the lower end, all the way up to people that are spending, thousands of dollars with us monthly.
Great. Okay, we've got a lot of questions coming in. You guys
Oh, okay. Oh, I see them starting to pop up. Awesome.
They're coming. Thank you. Keep them coming, everyone. Similar question while we're kind of talking dollars and cents here. Can you ballpark the average dollar amount AV dealers are spending typically?
Ooh, that is a good question. It's going to range. And I think one thing to consider when you're thinking about spend as well is your market and how competitive your market is. If you're sitting in Dallas right now, you have a lot of competition. In order to get found in different ways, you might have to invest more than somebody whose market is it's a little bit quieter, maybe less competitive. So I don't want to give an exact range, because it is really dependent on where you are in the country. But it's going to be a balance. It's a balance of your market. And the other side of that balance is how dominant you want to be in that market. We can run very successful campaigns to very targeted things, but then we also have customers of ours that want to be found for multiple different services and solutions across and really dominate their market. So what we can do is, if you want to contact one of our account executives, we can kind of walk you through and do a little bit of analysis in your market. It's why we have the territory split up, because our team really understands what it takes in each market to get found.
And just to tack onto that, we here at One Firefly, recommend that, especially when your business is in growth mode, we recommend spending about 2 to 5% of your projected revenue towards marketing. And that can be digital marketing, like some of the tactics we talked about today. That could be trade events, vehicle wraps. That could be that then foundational brand building that we talked about. But as a good benchmark, 2 to 5% of projected revenue is a good place to start.
Yeah. To put it into perspective, One Firefly, we've been growing 20 to 30% year over year for the last 4 or 5 years. We invest 7.5% into marketing every year.
We practice what we preach.
We try, that we do.
All right, just another quick comment before we move on to the next one. If you guys are just doing hand raises, you can just type your questions directly into this Q&A. That way we'll see them anything that you're typing here will pop up here and we'll answer it live. Okay, we have a question from Jeremy. When you're doing content for clients, is it custom to that client or a curated piece similar to an AI result?
That is a fantastic question. All of our content, whether it be social media or blog content, is 100% unique and individualized to you and your business. It's why we take the time to get to know you and your business. It's why you have a dedicated account manager. We want to craft content that is representative of you and your business, but also pair that with your goals, what you want to be found for, what areas you want to grow your business, so that we're putting out information about you that's you're gonna get the most bang for your buck and, be found.
Awesome. So we have another question in from Heather. She says, if we already have a website, do you assist in the upgrades? And for her follow-up question is, or if it's hosted by a different company, is it up to them to make those changes instead of us?
Awesome. So a two-part question. First, if you already have a website to assist in the upgrades, absolutely. We do it for customers all the time. What we would do, pardon me, what we would do is we would take a look at your existing website and we want to see how it's already performing. In some cases, if your website is already performing in certain areas, we want to make sure that any new website, that switch, it's a big commitment. So we want to make sure that your new website has similar content to what's performing. And then in any areas that it's not performing or you want to grow, we'd help develop that new content so that when you're putting a new website online, it's still going to be found for what you've been found previously and for new areas that you want to be found. So that process, when we take your website live, we actually go into the back end and do some technical things to it. It's called a 301 redirect. So we basically tell Google that all of those new URLs that are going live, we want to point your existing website to those new places on the website that's going to reference that new content. So what that tells Google is, hey, this old website is not dead. It is upgraded, and here is the new, bigger, and better content. So our team of experts will help walk you through all of that. There was a question, I believe, about hosting as well. If you do happen to purchase a One Firefly site, you can host your website on our servers. We have a dedicated private server where we only host One Firefly sites, and we would help you maintain the site. We would do all of the upgrades, backups to it, security hardening, so it's safe and secure. Sorry, I know that was a long-winded answer there on web.
For those of you who did not know, Kendall used to run our web department, so this is
I
her
do. I
sweet
feel
spot
very
right
passionate
here.
about websites. It's something we do all the time, the transition of a new website. So it's very, we take it very mindfully.
Danielle has a question. I have recently learned that the traditional blog conversation write-up style has changed to a more simple style of just uploading pictures of projects to stay relevant in Google searches. Is this true?
Oh, that's very interesting. I actually was reading an article, an SEO article this morning that was talking about different types of content and what's performing. Back in the day, long thousands of word content pieces were needed in order to perform well in Google. And nowadays, I wouldn't say that pictures only are going to perform. Google still needs to understand what you and your business do in order to rank you for certain phrases. So if you go to your website right now and you want to be found for Ketra, if your website physically doesn't say the word Ketra or talk about those services and those solutions that you offer, you will never be found for it. So yes, images are great, but it needs to be paired with very strategically written content. Doesn't necessarily need to be long, but it needs to be the length that it's going to perform in Google search. And there are tools that One Firefly uses to see the performance of different phrases, different concepts in all of your different markets. So I hope that answers your question.
All right, we have another one in asking if One Firefly, can we work alongside an agency currently working with an integrator? i.e. our agency handles SEO and we would handle digital ads.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Whether you're working with another agency or maybe you have somebody in-house that's doing some marketing for you, great. The more the merrier. We just want you to know the importance of investing in marketing so we can work alongside with somebody, whether it be in-house or another agency, to align those goals and make sure you're set up for success.
All right. Another question that's come in is, do we have any references that they can contact? There are several companies out there that do the same thing. We do make it easier to use these marketing funds from Lutron, but if someone is looking for other options, do we have any recommendations?
Jessica, what do you think on
Yeah,
that one?
sorry, let me make sure I'm understanding. Are you asking if we can provide you with our references, our current clients that would be willing to speak with you? And if that is the question, if I'm understanding it, yes, I don't see us having any issue with that. We have a lot of very happy customers who would be more than happy to speak with you. Regarding I guess, anonymous attendee, if you could let me know if that's answering your question. But if we certainly would be happy to connect you with folks who have worked with us as a reference. And unfortunately, I can't see who you are because it says you're anonymous. Yes, especially in this industry. Yeah, absolutely. We have clients in this industry who we absolutely could connect you with. So I encourage you, go ahead and scan that QR code, fill out that form, and just make a note here that you are the person requiring, or excuse me, requesting references, and we'd be happy to connect you with some folks. It's a great question.
All right.
I know we have about 2
questions
minutes left.
I know, guys, you guys gave a lot of great questions. I really appreciate it. It looks like, Donna, I know you were asking, I did find that I can allow you to speak if you're still here. I know that you mentioned that you had something that you wanted to talk about, so I'm going to press the button to allow you to talk, and if you're still on, then we'd love to hear it.
All right, Donna, you are live.
Okay, awesome. Well, first of all, I'm going to give a plug to One Firefly because they're one of our favorites. And we are on the new program. And one of the things that Kendall was talking about earlier that some of you may not know is, like, in this new process that we're going through, they found where we had linked the same page twice on our website to one page, and it created some confusion with Google. And we had to fix that in order to have Google see it properly. So it was really great to understand how that works. So just One Firefly, you've always been great, and we love working with you. Lutron, for you, I have a question for you. I'm on the actual where it had the page with all of the amounts on it, and that's why I didn't want to type it because I didn't know how to say this. But on the category that we're at, is that above and beyond like what we would use for our training and our demo equipment, or is that the same bucket? And if it's not, then One Firefly, you guys are kind of chipping in as well. Is that what I'm understanding, or no? Is there like a double amount there?
So the DMC, hi Donna. So the DMC credits would be applicable to the same type of stuff that has been applicable in the past. And the One Firefly credit is the same, is what would be applied to the work with One Firefly.
So if I've used all of mine towards training and demo equipment, then I wouldn't have any left for One Firefly, basically.
Of your DMC?
Yes. Is that correct? Correct. So it's the same.
At least from the DMC side of things, but there is a credit of it. Yes, correct.
Okay, because I think the training and the demo comes out of that same bucket, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look, and happy to chat with you separately, Donna, too, on your specific account, and we could look at that in a little bit more detail.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
You can mute me now.
Thanks, Donna. All right. If anyone wants to hang on with us here, we are happy to do so. I still see there's a couple of questions. I know Team One Firefly, we certainly can stick around. Rebecca, are there any others that you're seeing that we haven't addressed yet?
Well, it looks like somebody, Kendall, you referenced that you were reading an SEO article earlier, and somebody was asking, what SEO blog were you reading this morning? The people want to know.
The people want to know. No, this is if you write down the name Neil Patel, it's another SEO thought leader. He has some great information, and that's some of the content of his that I was consuming. But Rebecca, if there's not any other ones, I think we can close it out.
Yeah,
Last call,
that looks
folks.
like it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all of you. Thank you all for spending an hour with us on this lovely Tuesday afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks,
Have a great week,
everybody.
everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thanks.